Yes. Hello, my name's Barry. Welcome to Christianity Explained. Today we're gonna have a fun dive into the book of Job, namely a small part of Job 39, 40, and 41, where we are going to encounter these strange three creatures you've seen on the thumbnail. And yes, dear friend, one of them is supposed to look like the mythical unicorn. Hmm, why the heck is that in there? What translation is this? Is this some mysterious version of the Passion? No, no, no. Sorry, but my friends in the King James family fan are just gonna have to own up to it. It's in their translation. I haven't looked to see. Just so you can know I'm not exaggerating, uh, I will show you. Okay, you are now looking at the King James Bible, uh, see, and it is Job uh, chapter 39, verse 9. Good. And just so you know, Job is considered one of the oldest of the wisdom literature. Some think it was written before Genesis. I don't know. I never looked into that, but it's been around a long time. And Job, uh, it's unknown who actually wrote it, but this centers around Job. He had just undergone uh, a whole lot of suffering and have three miserable comforters, and he's going on like uh, wanting justice and having he's also suffering from grief because he all children lost. Uh, that's gonna take a toll. He had 7 kids, I think, and never mind just the wealth and all that. And was at the end of his rope. And well, by the time 39 shows up in Job 39, after a little bit of 38, I think the Lord shows up in a whirlwind and decided to have a little talk, as it were, with Job. Yes, uh, the Lord was dealing with Job there, but in some ways, I think the Lord was also helping him out of that depression. Hmm. Now, what does this have to do with unicorn? It's important to understand that Job is very poetic, and sometimes you have to think through and ask some questions. Now, how does reading context actually help? Well, you're about to find out why I picked on it. And starting with verse 9, will the unicorn be willing to serve thee, or abide by thy crib? That's like a feeding trout or something like that. Canst thou canst thou bind the unicorn with his band in the furrow, or will he harrow the valley after thee? Uh, well, well, here we go. Wilt thou trust him because his strength is great? There's a clue. Or wilt thou leave thy labor to him? Wilt thou uh, be- wilt thou believe him that he will bring home thy seed, the grain, and gather it into thy barn? Care to guess what kind of animal is actually being described here? Yes. It would be, I looked it up, and what is describing to Job, hmm, I don't know what that's about. Uh, what the Lord is describing to Job is this. He is describing a very powerful uh, animal that modern translators think is some kind of wild bull. Others have suggested it probably some ancient animal back at the time that Job would know. Now that's one of the key things. Job, who owned farmland, he knows all about what the kind of animals that would be used. He's no stranger to any of this stuff. So he would be able to know exactly what the Lord is obviously describing in this case. And he would have probably realized that this thing, I've seen some reference in my study notes saying that it's like huge, like 6 foot, I don't know. And it was, and he would have said, wait a minute, that thing, that he doesn't have the power and the strength to deal with that thing. It would, and it would probably be a disaster. He would have known that he had no ability to do that, any of it. And that was what the Lord bringing home to mind. That not only could he not deal with that thing, he would have a lot of power. Only the Lord can do these things. Oh, yeah. I, in this context, I knew this couldn't have been a real unicorn. Think about it. Uh, if you ever read any fantasy literature, you'll know unicorns weren't exactly the creatures you go to do farm work. Not unless they can transform into a human. Well, obviously not. All right. Now, what about the other two? Well, let me pause and we'll be right back. As you undoubtedly noticed in the reading of the at that chapter before, uh, it was a little, it was kind of challenging for me. That's why I had to switch over to the English Standard Version. It's way easier, and I'm debating with myself if I'm going to use the audio recording for uh, for chapter 41 because that is long. This isn't too bad. Uh, Zach, and this is chapter 40 of Job 40. I'm starting with verse 15. And yes, this does line up very nicely with what in the King James Version. Behold, Behemoth, which I made as I made you. He eats grass uh, like an ox. Behold, his strength within his loin. And, and his power and his power and his power in the muscle uh, of his belly. He makes his tail stiff like a cedar. The sinews of his thigh are knit together. His bones are tubes of bronze. His limbs like bars of iron. He is, this is what I was looking for. He is the first of the works of God. I did a little study on this line here, which I'm told that the point is that that Behemoth is one of the Lord's most powerful creation. Not necessarily the first creature, but it's a powerhouse. Hence, probably why it's called Behemoth. Let him who uh, let him who made him uh, bring near his sword. For the mountain yield food for him, where all the wild beasts play. Somehow I'm not sure if this thing is uh, under. Yeah. Now we're gonna get to a part where we're given some clues as to what exactly the behemoth may well be. Verse 21. Under the lotus plants, he lies in the shelter of the reeds, and in the marsh for his shade. The lotus tree covers him. The willows of the brook surround him. Behold, if the river is turbulent, he is not frightened. He is confident, though the Jordan rushes against his mouth. Can one take him by his eyes or pierce his nose with a snare? Mm. I, I did some research because uh, I honestly, to a certain extent, didn't know what was being described. According to my study notes, the study Bible and commentaries I read, they indicated that there have been some debates. Primarily, they believe it was either a hippopotamus, some thought maybe a dinosaur. And somebody else, minors that maybe mythical. I think I'm having a hard time thinking a hippo, but there are probably plenty of people who know a lot more about animals, especially that, than I do, and probably might have a little fun with me. Go for it. I think that, but one thing is certain, this creature is probably not something uh, Job would want to play around with, uh, because he's not the one that created. He has no power to deal with this thing, and I'm not sure what method Job is getting from this. Because, uh, but I'll tell you one thing: it actually had me marveling at the creation, at God's creation. Uh, Even though I have no clue to what this may have been, but I'm like, wow. And I think that for someone like me, or perhaps you, that's something to consider. Hmm. Now, let's move on. 41. This is all about Leviathan. Now, I'll give you a little friendly spoiler. I kind of got the idea of doing this from watching my friend Rob Wilson. He apparently got a whole bunch of comments on his thing about his rebuking uh, Abednego for his use of Leviathan spirits and all that. And I would say my friend Rob has the right idea. He is correct. Uh, and I can show you from the text, from starting with verse 1 of chapter 41. Can you draw out Leviathan with a fishhook? Remember, the Lord talking to Job, who very likely wouldn't be able to do any of this. And it's also quite possible Job would know what the heck God is talking about. We don't. And some people will even suggest others. Now, I know you can't see it, but I got a whole bunch of cross references, like Isaiah 27, and I think according to what I was, according to my notes and everything, uh, that was a reference to Satan, if used metaphorically. And according to my, yeah. And thanks to, and I appreciate the folks at ESV giving me some helping hand. Basically, according to my notation here, I know you can't see it, but I'll read it for you. It's considered a large sea animal, exact identity uncertain. Thank guys for being honest about it. But whatever it is, who knows? And or press down his tongue with a cord. Does that sound like something you could do with a spirit? I don't think so. Mm, no. Remember, who is God talking to? Hmm. That's really important. Can you put a rope in his nose or pierce his jaws with a hook? Hmm. Whoop. Mm. Yeah. Will you make uh, many pleas to? Oh wait, will he make many pleas to you? I don't think so. I don't, will he speak to you soft words? Will he, Leviathan, make a covenant with you? Mm. To take him for your servant? Mm. Will you play? Will you play with him as with a bird? I've heard sea dragon, whale. Uh, but one thing is certain, based on the descriptions I've read over time, uh, I don't think so. Or will you put him on a leash? Oh, and one of the other suggestions for this thing was crocodile or alligators. Have fun for your girdle, uh, for your girls. Oh God. Will will traders bargain over him? Will they divide him up among the merchants? Can you fill his skin with harpoon, or his head with fishing spears? Lay your hands on him. Remember the battle. You will not do it again. Yeah. Mm, be- behold. In other words, this thing is very dangerous. Whatever it is, you don't play with it. You like avoid it. Behold, uh, the hope of a, behold, the hope of a man is false. He is laid low even at the sight of him. No one is so fierce that he dares to stir him up. Mm. Who the who then is he who can stand before me? Who then is he who can stand before me? Hmm. But if you can't, oh, I see. If you're reading it carefully in the context, you realize the Lord telling you, look, I'm showing you this very powerful and very dangerous creature. You might have heard of it and understand. If you can't, are not able to deal with that thing, even if Job didn't know, the Lord gave enough of a description, you can say, yeah, I ain't go near that thing. If you can't stand before that, who then is he who can stand before me? God is far more, the Creator is far more powerful than what He created. Who had first given to me that I should repay him? Whatever is under the whole heaven is mine. I will not keep silent concerning his limits, his limbs, or his mighty strength, or his goodly frame. Who can strip off his, and I'm guessing he's talking about Leviathan, his outer garment? Who would come near him uh, with a bridle? Who can open the doors of his face? Around his teeth is terror. His, his back is made of rows of shields. Shut up closely as with uh, a seal. No, one is so near to another uh, that no air can come between them. They are joined one to another. They will clasp each other and cannot be separated. Hmm. His sneezing uh, flashes forward, uh, forth light. Mm. And his eyes are like the the eyelid of the dawn. Out of his mouth go flaming torches. This is why some of us think, was this some kind of sea dragon? Mm. Sparks of torch his leap forth. Out of his mouth, his nostril, come forth smoke, as from a brilliant pot and burning rushes. His breath kindles coal, coals, and a flame come forth from his mouth. In his neck abides strength, and terror dances before him. The folds of his flesh stick together, firmly, ca- yeah, firmly cast on him, and immovable. His his heart is hard as a stone. Okay, hard as yeah, hard as the lower millstone. Hmm. When he raises himself up, uh, the mighty are afraid. At the crashing, they are uh, beside themselves. Uh, though, the, though the sword reaches him, it does not avail, nor the spear, the dart, or the javelin. Mhm. He counts iron as straw and bronze as rotten wood. The arrow cannot make him flee. For him, sling stones are, you know, uh, are turned to stubble. Clubs, clubs are counted as stubble. He he laughs at the rattles of javelin. He his underparts are like a sharp uh, post potsherd. Sorry, I'm struggling with that. He spreads himself like a stretching sledge on the mire. He yeah he makes the deep boils like a pot. He makes the sea like a pot of ointment. Behind him, he leaves a shining wick. One would think the deep to be white haired, hmm, uh, on earth. Uh, there is on earth there is not his like a creature without fear. Hmm. Last verse. He sees everything that is high. He is king over all the sons of pride. Uh, hey, Father, what are you describing? Are you describing Satan? Because that does sound like him. And I say that because of that last verse. Yeah, good. All right. What do you think that thing could be? Could the Lord have been describing that? If you want to think spirit, that's not the only thing I could think of because of that last verse. But in the natural, yeah, uh, it could be something that we don't know. That's what some of my study notes said suggested maybe it's some kind of mystical creature. No one really knows for sure because it doesn't quite sound like anything uh, normally seen. But yeah, I wouldn't read into the text something that isn't there. Uh, and what is the point? The Lord is showing him um, something that is going on, and that's pride, because that's exactly what that creature is. He is the king of pride, and it is humbling that only the Lord can really deal with that thing. It's not something we can deal with. Mm, yeah, like, but like I said, these and Leviathan does show up a few times. Uh, and the one time that was mentioned in Isaiah, that that was used metaphorically uh, as one for Satan, not just some king. that the Lord was talking about. Hmm. Yeah. Ah, like, but you see, I'm not trying. But I hope you notice that I'm not trying to read into the text more than it is. To stay within reasonable boundary, and that, hmm. And I think that helps. Should I be? No. Last time I checked, there hasn't been anything like that showing up. I don't need to worry about it. And that wasn't the point the Lord was doing. He was addressing Job's needs. Job needed confrontation about his own mentality of thinking that he could demand something when something is way beyond what he's able to know or understand. Yes, not that. And in some ways, uh, I thought it was actually kind of humbling to read about all these incredible things that the Lord has created, uh, and like and some of the other majesty. And I think when we focus too much on tech and reading into, we forget the larger picture that God is great, powerful, majestic. Jesus is the one whom we should be giving our adoration. He is our mediator between God and man. He is the one who died on the cross for sin. He is the one who is able to set us free. It's His Spirit. If you have Jesus as your Lord and Savior, if you believe in your heart that Jesus is Lord, that He is God, Yahweh, and that He died and was buried and for 3 days and rose up on the third day and ascended into the heaven after being seen by so many witnesses, including Cephas, and one last time born, Paul, and he sits right now at the right hand of the Father. Yes, he will come back at a time of his of the Lord's choosing. Now, is it still the case that the Son doesn't know? I don't know. All I know is what Jesus said in Matthew 24. No one knows the hour, the day, or the hour the Son of Man shall return. Not even he, not the angels, and not even the Son. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and pretend to understand. I don't. Lord Jesus, I trust you on that. That if I want to have fun, I'll have fun with some of the other stuff. But I ain't playing with the day. I just look forward and focus on you. And that's the thing we need to be doing. And oh, good. And I want to encourage you not to be afraid to dive into the Word. It has a whole lot of rich treasure. And in fact, Job actually I found to be very helpful in dealing with suffering and helping me out of my own depression in those chapters where the Lord shows up because I was like, wow. Because how so? Well, this is what some people might miss. Uh, when you're depressed, you're looking at yourself. Woe with me. What that did was like get your eyes off of you and on the Lord and marvel at what He is doing, even as He's correcting. As He was correcting, my heart was being lifted up in the sense that, wow, I'm getting my eyes off of me and on you, on your majesty, and recognizing that, okay, I'm not going to understand everything, but I'm going to trust you. Mm. Uh-huh. Yeah. And I'm not going to worry about demonic spirit. or any of those other things. Instead, I will rejoice in the Lord and focusing on Him. All right. Uh, for me, this was a tough one to do. Probably not. I don't think it's one of my best, but well, I look forward to doing more of these on a weekly basis. So please, if it's been helpful, please hit the like button and please consider subscribing and share it if possible. All right, I'm gonna thank you and hope you have a blessed day and see ya when I see ya.